Hey guys, it's Manager Kylie, and in today's video I'm going to share with you the rotations on running a 6-2 with the middle following the setter. So today I'm going to go through a 6-2 rotation. I do have another video on my channel on this. That video is outside follow setter, and today I'm going to be focusing on a middle follow setter pattern for the 6-2 rotation. We're going to go through your base positions, your rotational base, and where you should be standing in serve receive. So if you're interested in learning more about that, definitely stick around. But if you're interested in more sports administration content just like this, definitely subscribe button, turn the bell so you get notified every time I upload. I post a new video every single Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And we're going to dive into these different rotations. So starting off for the 6-2, we're going to start with rotation 1. You're going to notice a pattern for this: 1, 2, 3, match, 4, 5, 6, just with these different numbers in the different spots. So you have like your middle one, yours going to be in a different spot for each one, but they do match. Starting in rotational base 1, this is when your setter 1 is in 1, then you have your middle 1, outside 1, setter 2, middle 2, and your outside 1 in 6. Setting up for serve receive, your setter is going to drop to stack with your middle. This is a stack right, drop left pattern. So you're stacking on the right side with your middle, and then your setter 2 is going to drop on the left. There's a bunch of overlaps you do have to worry about in this one. So your setter 2 has to stay to the left of your outside 1. Your setter 2 has to stay in front of your middle 2. Your middle 1 has to stay in front of your setter 1, and your setter 1 has to stay to the right of your outside 2. So you do have to make sure that you pay attention to all those overlaps. And then your base positions, which is going to be very similar for the whole time, is your setters on the right side of your court, your outsides on the left, and your middles in the middle. This one has setter 2 in the front, setter 1 in the back, middle 1 and outside 1 in the front, and middle 2 and outside 2 in the back. Now for position number 2, your setter 1, which is your back row setter. This is a focus on a back row setter. Your setter 1 is now in 6. So it is a stack in the middle. So your 2 setters are actually going to stack in the middle. And then you're going to choose who you want to drop. Usually people drop that outside hitter to also be your other passer. So positionally for your rotational base, you'll have your setter 1 in 6. So which means you go middle 1, outside 1, setter 2, middle 2, outside 2, and then setter 1. You're making that stack in the middle with your 2 setters. Your outside 1 is dropping to be another passer, and your middle is going to stand on the tee. Your overlaps for this one, your setter 2 has to stay in front of your setter 1. Your setter 1 also has to stay to the left of your middle 1, and then your outside 1 has to stay in front of your middle 1. So when you're lining up, this one just has to make sure that they're one step behind your outside 1, so you don't have to worry about any of the overlaps. And then your base, same, setter, middle, outside. This one has setter 2, middle 2 in the front with outside 1, and then outside 2, middle 1, and setter 1 in the back row. Now for rotational base 3, this is when your back row setter is now in 5. So you have outside 1, setter 2, middle 2, outside 2, setter 1, middle 1. Your serve receive position on this is a stack on the left-hand side. You're dropping on the right-hand side. So you have your outside 2 and your setter 1 stacking on the left-hand side. And then you have your middle 2 usually just standing in the middle out of the way. Your overlaps for this is your setter 1 has to stay to the left of your middle 1. Your outside 2 has to stay in front of your setter 1, and then this setter 2 that's dropping back to pass has to stay in front of your outside 1. And then your base positions are setter, all your 2s in the front, so setter 2, middle 2, outside 2, and then all your 1s in the back, setter 1, outside 1, and middle 1. And now this is going to repeat. Because you're using specifically a back row setter, this is all going to repeat. So now you're repeating with setter 2 as your setter, and your setter 1 is being your opposite hitter. So this is really a focus on having that 3 hitters. It's a 6-2. You want to have 6 hitters on the court and 2 setters, which is more than 6 people on the court, but that's because you're setting from the back row. You'll always have those 3 hitters in the front row. So we go setter 2, middle 2, outside 2, setter 1, middle 1, outside 1. Your serve receive, again, is that stack on the right, drop left. Overlaps you have to worry about is that setter 1, outside 2 overlap. Your setter 1, middle 1 overlap. And your middle 2, setter 2 overlap, and your outside 1, setter 2 overlap. And then your base positions, setters, middles, and outsides. This one you have setter 1 with your middle and outside 2s, and then your setter 2 with your middle and outside 1s. Now for position 5, again, this is repeating, so you're in the stack middle. So you have your middle 2, outside 2, setter 1, middle 1, outside 1, setter 2. You want that person that's in 6 settings, so we're stacking in the middle. Same overlaps, it's just different numbers. So for this one, setter 1 has to be in front of setter 2. You have to make sure that setter 2 stays to the left of middle 2, and that your outside 2 stays in front of middle 2, and then same, you have middle and setter 1 with outside 2, and middle and setter 2 with outside 1. This is very repetitive. Positionally, you have the same 3 in the front and the same 3 in the back, how you're working these lineups. So it's 4, 5, and 6 look exactly the same as 1, 2, 3, just with different people. And then finally, your 6, this is when you are stacking to the left. So you have that left-hand stack of setter 2 and outside 1, which means your setter is now in 5. So we go outside 2, setter 1, middle 1, outside 1, setter 2, middle 2. You do have to also on these serve receives understand that this person is a front row hitter. Whenever somebody's dropping to be that extra passer, they are a front row hitter, so they're hitting in that front row position. This setter 1 is then going to go hit on the right sides. This one's easy too because everybody's in their position for the front row player. So your outside's already on the outside, your middle's already in the middle. You just have to get that setter 2 to go where they need to go into their setting position, and you just have this person running forward to hit from the right side. And then you have your same overlap, so setter 2 has to stay to the left of middle 2. Outside 1 has to stay in front of setter 2. Setter 1 has to stay in front of outside 2. Base positions, all your 1s are in the front, all your 2s are in the back. So this is just a repetitive motion. You have the same going on. This is similar to a 4-2 in the sense that it's repetitive. It's 3 and then it repeats again for 3. When you have 2 setters, you are able to have that repetitive motion of the same 3 positions twice. It's just which people are where on the court. This is definitely helpful to be able to run a quick game. You have that back row setter. You are able to have 3 different attackers. So if you have the ability to have those 2 setters, you can have multiple attackers the whole time you're on the court. You have 3 attackers the entire time you're on the court. When you're running a 5-1 or a 4-2, there are points, and in a 4-2, there's always a point where you only have 2 attackers. This allows you to have that 3rd attacker. So if you guys found that video helpful, it goes through the different rotations for a 6-2. If you have any other questions about rotations, definitely let me know in the comments down below. And definitely check out the other videos I'll have linked on the 5-1, the 4-2, and the other version of a 6-2 if you're using an outside follow setter pattern. This is all positionally where you are in the court, but if you have any questions, definitely let me know. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I will see you guys next Wednesday.